producer Andrew Presnick, and producer Adam Goldworm.
I love Scorsese's After Hours, as you know, and I love movies where characters get lost in a bad night, and I see that's written all over this. This also has Grady Hendrix, written all over it, obviously. What was it about the material that spoke to you and made you want to do this? Because it's such a great tonal shift from your earlier film this year.
Yeah.
All That We Destroyed, which I love as well. So
2019 was a big year.
it was a big year. Yeah. So what was it that drew you to this? Because this is just such a bold, balancing act, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so a friend of mine slipped me the script in 2017. She read it, she's like, you should check this out. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's written by Grady Hendrix, and I was a huge fan of his books. And I read it and I said, this movie's batshit crazy. I can't wait to see it get made. And then cut to last summer, Fangoria was looking for directors for Satanic Panic, and they reached out to my reps and said, we want to send it to Chelsea for her consideration. And I said, I know this script. And then at that, I didn't realize Fango was attached until then. And I said, I would love to be a part of the Fangoria family. And the script itself, I loved that it was a movie that was completely run by badass women. Women run this movie, they own this movie. And I thought seeing a Satanic cult/coven run by women was so badass. And I love the commentary on classism it was making. So I was like, I need to do everything I can to get this movie, even if I have to sign my name to the devil.
Rebecca and Jerry, could you talk about what you saw the first time you read the script and really what drew you to the project?
Personally, this is nothing more fun than playing relentlessly evil. It's just, I'm a lifelong horror and gore fan. I've never actually worked in this genre, so this was the first time for me. And
Amazing to be in this movie.
I worked a lot with special effects, but never practical effects. And it's such a huge difference working outside of CGI and with practical effects on set. It just adds a whole different level of energy to everything. And it was awesome being on this female-driven set, which always felt like a safe place to try things, and it was a blast. It's always fun working with Jerry. We only had one scene together. Remember that one scene we had together?
I really wanted to do the film. We've been married now for a dozen years. I ask her all the time to throat fist me. And she's always like, no, we can't do that. And I'm like, just do it, just throat fist me, just do it, let's just try it. Like, that spice things up. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And then I read this script. And I looked at Rebecca and I said, you're gonna throw fist me.
It only counts if it's on camera.
I want to return for a second to the throat fisting. Talk about putting this cast together, because this is a true ensemble. Like, it takes this entire fabric, almost like an Altman movie or something, even though it's this, wild horror film. Talk about how you put it together. Obviously, there's casting directors involved, but what you're looking for to fill out these roles.
Yeah, we have an incredible casting director. I don't know if Googs is here, but he was amazing. Is he here? Great, yeah! And yeah, I was, when we were brainstorming about casting, and for Haley Griffith, this character of Sam, this was Haley's first feature film. And her audition was a self-tape. She's based in New York, and looking for Sam, and we had tons of auditions. And we saw amazing people in LA, and got incredible self-tapes. But when I saw hers, and I saw hers very early in the process, I thought, I said, this is our Sam. It's her. It's got to be her. and we were going through the process and looking at lots of people, but we kept going back to her. And the producers agreed, and they're like, yes, this role is hers. So, and she did an awesome job. And Ruby Modine, I believe, was the first person to join the cast. And I knew her from my Blumhouse days, and from Happy Death Day, and Shameless. And I was a huge, it's crazy because everyone on the stage I'm a huge fan of, and working with Arden, and then also AJ and Hannah, we have like horror royalty on the stage, and Jeff, and Clark Wolf, and you know, it's so incredible when it's people whose work you watch and inspire you to be a filmmaker, and then you get to work with them, and it's fucking badass and amazing.
For the other actors and actresses, I would love to hear a little bit about working with the practical effects. There's so much in this movie, and it's so over the top. I believe the term splatstick is applicable here. AJ, intestines out of mouth. Tell us.
It was just another day at the office for me. It was it was one thing to like swallow a lot of that and keep it in my mouth and not gag on it, but to be doing that while someone who I've been a big fan of their work for a very long time, like straddling me. It was just a really interesting way to meet someone that you're a fan of, and it's a really interesting way to get to know them, and then, you know, I've like met her husband earlier in that process. It was just a really weird night. I mean, at one point in time, you know, so it's like I die, which is pretty standard for me, and then all of a sudden a bunch of these people come in robes. Good job, by the way. And in the middle of it, I thought it was another character coming across the set in like a midriff. I just thought it was the dad or the owner of the home, and then I found out the next day that it was Jerry O'Connell. I don't know why I was dressed that way, but it was working for me. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it was there are worse ways to make money and spend time.
Jerry did wear a crop top. It was Halloween. Jerry and his two, I believe they were like businessmen in Dallas. He was like
crop tops.
He was like, meet me at this restaurant, and he went to like a Walgreens and bought like University of Texas shirts. And SMU shirt, and then he cut them all off and he handed them to these like local businessmen and goes, here, put this on. And then they went to like a Houston's, and he made the three of them go eat, and they did it. And then Jerry came to the set and hung out like that. He wasn't working, he was just there in a crop top, and he was in that for like 36 hours. It was amazing. And then Rebecca took pictures of him that she posted of what she woke up to in her hotel room. He kept on the crop top.
So many pictures from that night, actually.
It's incredible. There's some from behind, and he's really tired. It's really good.
What about shooting in Dallas? Because that was an interesting location for, obviously, Fangoria, I know, is based there now. But it actually, the big houses, there's something about it that really sold Satanism in Dallas, Texas. So talk a little bit about that. It feels very isolated shooting it.
Yeah, yes, Fango is based in Dallas, and the houses we shot in were so incredible, and I don't know if we would have been able to do that in Los Angeles because everyone was so excited to have us filming there, whereas in LA they're like, okay, you need to pay this much money, and it's a lot harder. But in Texas, they were, yeah, of course you can come film here. I believe a letter was written to USC for someone's son to help be able to shoot at one of the houses. Some bribery was going on. But that house, the main house where like the gates open, there's actually a water park in the backyard, like a full-on water park. It was insane. But yeah, Texas, it was awesome to shoot there. Yeah.
From the producers, can you all talk about how you got involved in the project and what attracted you to it?
I'm lucky enough to work with Grady Hendrix, which is wonderful. And so this was the first original that I'd seen from him, and we worked the script into a really good place, and then Dallas is a guy that I've known for years and years and years, and this just sort of like matched up very nicely. So it was, it worked out really well. And it was lucky to find someone like Chelsea to come in and just sort of make this thing sing, because it's tough to do Grady's dialogue. it was really, I don't know, it's a pretty amazing situation.
Yeah, I mean, I work full-time at Fangoria and Cinestate alongside Dallas, and I remember when I got the script for the first time, you know, we read a lot of stuff, and it's rare that something is a true page-turner, and I remember when I first got the script, I couldn't put it down, you know, it's so fast-paced, the dialogue is incredible, and then encountering this story of 4 powerful women and all of their cohorts, I was like, okay, cool, when can we make this? Can we make it tomorrow? Let's go. And so I just remember being so excited, and you know, working with Adam and Grady was a delight, because Grady in person is like the movie reads, you know, he has that energy and spirit about him, so it was really great.
I did want to ask Kaylee, you know, this is your first feature, and you're holding this whole film together in a lot of ways with all these, you know, wild personalities and wild characters, and you're like this wide-eyed, kind of innocent, you know, also got a badass core, which is
really
cool.
big, but yeah.
What was that like? Like, basically being kind of the midpoint to all this craziness and kind of anchoring the film?
Stressful as hell. I mean, in the beginning, like before I got there, it was just like panic attacks. But thankfully, once I got here, everyone was super supportive and really amazing, so it kind of took a lot of the pressure off. So thankfully that helped a lot.
And Chelsea, could you talk a little bit about the post? Like, I was so impressed with the music in the movie and some of the other post things that you did with it, the graphics and everything.
Yeah, so I knew from the very beginning of the script that I wanted it to go into animation as sort of an homage to Creepshow and Dangerous Lives of Altar Boys and a bunch of other movies I love that have sort of a matchup of animation and live action. And the animator I just put basically a call out to friends, and I was like, hey, can anyone suggest animators? I'm looking for something in line of Creepshow. And my friend John reached out and was like, hey, I know this guy, you should reach out to him. And I did, and he said yes. And that's how we have those amazing opening credits, and the song is by Folsom Keller. And for the score, I wanted something that was sort of a John Carpenter synth mixed with like 70s giallo, like goblin. Okay. And I've been a fan of Wolfman of Mars's, and I saw Boogeyman Pop, and from that, I was like, I love these guys, and started listening to them on Spotify, and following them on social media, and then I just reached out on Instagram and said, hey, I'm a big fan, I have a movie, would you be interested in scoring it? Here's the deal, here's what it is. And they said, we'd love to, and then I just started collaborating, and they're actually located in Boston, so we were doing everything remotely. So they'd send me cuts of the movie, or they'd send me scenes, and I would give my notes on the score, and I'm so excited about it, and maybe there'll be a vinyl release in the future. You'll have to
And if I could call out specifically our entire post team, many of whom are here tonight. Stand Sound Post is here in LA, led by Jonathan Sheldon. Our colorist, Mark Todd Osborne, is here tonight. So thank you guys. It's not easy. It's not easy to make a low budget movie look this good, and it's in large part due to them. So thank you guys.
I do want to ask, we've got a room full of hard nerds here. You mentioned a couple influences before, but did you have to, because this is a whack tone to pull off, right? So, and you're talking about movies that have done that before, like Society is a movie that I don't even know how that exists. But did you screen anything to any of the producers or key cast to kind of sell how you were envisioning this? And what were some of the other films that maybe you were pulling together?
Yeah, so I when I was first pitching myself for the job, I sent a bunch of stills and references for movies, obviously Jennifer's Body and Evil Dead and Drag Me to Hell and Deathgasm, and there's some Rosemary's Baby obviously in there. And I remember, I think I gave Haley and maybe Ruby some suggestions of things to watch, and I also recommended they watch my best friend's Exorcism. I thought it was really important to see that, you know, female relationship, and Jennifer's Body as well, to watch that, and because Jennifer and Evie's relationship is sort of a little similar, it sort of exists in the same world. And yeah.
Were there any 80s comedies, just not non-horror? Because I think the comic tone and timing is what's so great about it.
Well, I'm a huge John Hughes fan, so I have Breakfast Club tattooed on my wrist. So yeah, so that's one of my big influences. So I obviously was rewatching his work and rewatching horror comedies too, and listening to director comedy or commentaries just to say, okay, like let's really look at this, because I really wanted to nail the tone, because it is not easy.
And Rebecca, I know this is one of your first horror films, but were you a horror fan going into this?
Yes, lifelong, since I was a child, yeah. I rented every single one on the wall of the video store. Actually, we used to do that. Yeah, no, it was a huge honor to finally get to sink my teeth in.
And if I could make a plug, the cover of Fangoria issue number 5 dropped today, and Rebecca Romaine is on the cover. So there you go.
One thing, I saw this movie in Chicago at midnight when you were there, and it played gangbusters at midnight. So what is the future right now for the film? We're seeing the LA premiere. Where is it headed? How can people see it? I remember you telling me what it was up against and why we need to fight.
Yes. Well, seeing it in front of an audience, obviously there are so many amazing friends of mine in this audience right now, and filmmakers I love and admire, so thank you so much for being here on your Friday night. It means the world to me. Yeah, we are doing tons of festivals right now. Tomorrow we're playing Nevada City. We play Fright Fest on Monday, and we have, I think, 8 or 10 more to go. Yeah, a ton more to go. So this film comes out on September 6th, theatrical day, so it's day and date, theatrical, VOD, digital HD. That happens to also be the same day that It Chapter 2 comes out. But what I will say to that is, huge fan. I'm gonna go see it for sure, but what I will say is, I hope horror is on the brain for everyone then, and remember to support the indie movies and to support alternate programming. And treat yourself to a weekend of double feature maybe. Go see it and then go see our movie, rent our movie. Please remember the smaller movies that are coming out too that don't get, everything that, It Chapter 2 gets in terms of billboards and trailers and things like that. So yeah, but I think horror will be on everyone's brain, so I think it'll actually work out quite well.
Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you. Congratulations, guys.